Sheesh. Okay, day after she starts, well, technically like 2 days after, we got like a heavy rainstorm for the past 2 days. So now that my mind is all level-headed and the hypeness is all gone, now we can actually focus on, you know, what happened and what went wrong and how can we fix that. Nothing too crazy happened, but a couple leaks, a couple things we gotta change up just a little bit. Like we had a fuel leak over there, fix that up. We have an oil leak right here on the top of the oil filter, set up all the AN crazy lines. Little oil leak here, but that was just simple. Just how I had to tighten up the feed to the turbo. And yeah, that's basically that it for the leaks. Next we have to loom up all of our wires because we know that they work. See, I did this little makeshift thing, keep the wires off of the manifold and the turbo. That's the crank, so that's really important. And all along this side and all along this side, all this has to be loomed up and then heat treated, because this area is like, you know, seduced to heat because of this exhaust pipe right here. We also have to finish the exhaust pipe. That probably won't happen in this video, but also have to be finished. And we have to get the cooling system done. That way we can run the engine longer and test out the rear wheels and the clutch and everything. So yeah, let's just hop into it, really. First thing on the agenda is to get all this damn rust off of this thing. Done. And that. So not too big on this turbo blanket here, but since this car predominantly lives outside, it's kind of necessary to keep the little rust spots off. So, but that's basically the whole thing of this video. I'm going to be protecting every single thing with heat loom and blankets apparently. We also got heat wrap for the exhaust, but we have to wait till we finish that up first. So back into the garage here, you can see we have a whole bunch of heat treated wire loom and whatever this is. This is like one of those open looms that you just squeeze over, so that's not bad. Not too crazy with the name branding here, but you can see there's lots of stuff. Alright, so we have about 15 feet of each roll of this stuff. This one's like 3/4 of an inch, and this one's like, what, like half? So it should be enough to get it over all of this and straight back through into the car. Yeah, so I guess just go ahead and start disconnecting these and start to loom it over. Let's get the zip ties and the tape as well. Right, so I know that there's a proper way to do this, but we're going to do it this way the most properly we can, if that makes sense. So the only reason why I don't want to pull off this entire harness is because it's like stuck in between. Like this is actually like really tight in between here. So I much rather loom it up, tape it up, and slide the heat shielding over it while it's in this tight area. Then the rest of it we can just unplug and loom it all the way through. Same thing with this side. I'm gonna have to unbolt this one. I don't know how the hell this red wire got over there, but majority of it's just going to be unplug, slide the loom over, cut it, and we're gonna throw a little tape on there to keep it all together with tape. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Zip tie, tape, heat shield. a bit too. Alright, so we got majority of the wires all loomed up here. You can see that crank, we like OD'd on the loom a little bit, but you never get too much heat loom. You never get too much heat protection from the loom, or however sure I should say this. But yeah, majority of them are taped up. Got to get to that little few back there and tape those up. Then I got to get down there and see where the zip ties are and get down there and wire loom that up too. After that, we can get to removing this little fan shroud and getting to this fitting right here, because this one is the one that's leaking. I guess it's just not tight enough. Alright, tightens up those two fittings to as far as I can. Hopefully it doesn't leak again. We got Mike over here.
Yes, you do.
Yep. So that's figured out. Wire up balloons, we gotta get down there still. But we gotta go tackle that gas tank as well. I got some gas tank sealer. Hopefully that should work. Alright, so in the back of the car here, and you can see we had this nice pan here. Looks like all the E85 dried up. Well, something I just found out, that we have a little leak here. It's probably this little thing right here. It looks like somebody tried to patch it. That thing looks nasty. Looks like a failed patch job. But yeah, this is where she's leaking from. And I'm gonna have to address this because I can't hold no more E other than up to what this, you know, up to here. And that's like not even probably a gallon, but not enough. Obviously this is a 22-gallon fuel tank and I would like to use all of it. So I guess I have to figure out, I guess this is like the leak right here, this little silver spot. It's leaking crazy. So we're gonna have to sand this down and use some of that JB Weld putty that I have. Hopefully that works. So first we're gonna have to drain out the rest of the E. This little clamp I have here. This is gonna be about a waste of, probably wasted about $3 of E. Not even gonna try and reuse any of this stuff. It's that cheap. That cheap. So hopefully it doesn't spray my face too much. This thing is like sealed on there. I have to break this loose. Pop this off. Oh. Well, I miss horribly. Keep missing horribly. But yeah, you gotta let this drain out, then let it air out for a little bit. And then, damn, look at all that gas waste. Look at that E wasted. Ugh. Smells like corn though. But yeah, I'm gonna have to let this all drain out and probably let it sit for about 2 hours. Then we can start sanding this and put some more putty on the leak. Ugh. Nah, this looks really malicious. Look at that. It looks like somebody just, look, it's like even shaving. It looks like somebody just took a drill bit and said, pew! Sounds like my previous owner had some enemies. Or the previous owner before him. What the hell? That's like a perfect drill bit hole. Very calculated too. Alright, I'm gonna have to sand this down. Damn. That really sucks. Yeah, we'll see how much the putty can work on a hole like that. Right, so next thing on the agenda is to replace our oil pressure sensor. So I had some regular oil pressure sensor laying around. It just happened to be like a 50 psi one. Obviously that's not right for oil pressure, so I went and bought me this 150 psi one. So I don't know why my oil pressure is reading weird, but I kind of forgot that it was only 50 psi. So let's go ahead and wrap this in some Teflon tape and install it. Alright, so I don't know if I talked about this before, but we do have a oil pressure relocation kit. You can see it goes round and round, wrapped around here, screws right into there. That is a 1/8 BSPT to 1/8 NPT. If you guys were questioning on why your 1/8 NPT wasn't screwing in, that's the reason. So go ahead and just unplug this sensor. You can see it says 50 right there on the side. Clearly not the right one, but worked as a nice placeholder. Alright, let's put a little bit of oil. Well, that's at least you know that we got some oil pressure. So nice and tight and screwed in now. You have to go into the Infinity software and make sure that we update it to 150 psi sensor now. Right, so next thing on the agenda, we are going to put in a new fuel sending unit, because I don't think the old one works. But then, to be fair, I never tried. But why not? Everything else is new, so and it looks like it'll fit nicely. This one's a 5. How much is this one? Oh, this one's a 5 as well. Yeah, so this looks like it should be nice plug and play. I'll have to route the wires different. Probably. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. But yeah, let's get started on that. There's not really much to say, but just replacement of parts. First try, let's go. Those tubed ones. How do we get this out of here? Oh, okay. Hard to believe this is a 20 gallon, so it's advertised. I mean, this thing does go down 11 inches deep. So I guess I'll have to do my calculations on how wide it is and whatnot, but I'm guessing 15 gallon. Put my money on 15, but the specs say 20, so yeah, it says here 21.1 US gallons. Huh. Interesting. Right, so it's about 11 inches down, so I'm pretty sure I would measure this for it to go about halfway. That way I have the full throw from top to bottom. Cool, so we have it set up so the bottom of this thing is hitting 11 inches when it's bottom out empty. So let's just go ahead and put this in there now. Get this project out of the way. I'm actually pretty hyped. You guys know me. Everything I have to custom do. So this is actually pretty cool, and I don't have to custom do anything. It just fits like it should, like a glove. Right, so now it's time to loosen up this top nut. That way we can put a little spade connector or hoop connector on this. That way we can get a reading. Right, so on the back of the gauge is a little selector. It's like, I think it's like universal, like a bunch of different styles of sending units. So yeah, I do is take this little tool and shove it in there. Sending unit we have is setting number 5. So switch that to number 5. Nice. The other thing we have to take care of is this line. Now you guys know this is a nylon line. Completely fine. Not stainless steel would be better in this predicament because it's touching the manifold. But we have this nice little heat shield from DEI, and this thing feels nice. Really nice. So it's already cut down the size. Let's just slide this over the fitting and hook up back the drain. So this is like a nice solution if you want to keep everything black, really. That's a real nice solution for heat. DEI. Nice. So I found these little grommets on Amazon. It's supposed to be gas sealant protectant kind of thing, so hopefully that should work. I've never seen a gas tank with like a perfect hole. Hopefully that should work. I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna line it with some JB weld around the edge. You see it's like a little like gasket kind of thing. So I'm gonna put some JB weld around the edge and hopefully that should seal that hole. All right, hopefully that should hold up. I put like another layer around this thing, so hopefully it's fully sealed. You know, this is just temporary for now. Eventually I'll get a fuel cell on this thing. But yeah, let's go wash my hands, and I guess we'll give this thing about 4 hours to cure or whatever. I'll read what's on the back. Let's pour some E in here and see if it's been dried enough, or see if this thing works, honestly. Alright guys, next day here, and unfortunately our efforts have failed. This thing still leaks. Horrible. It's like day one. If I pull it out, see, it's all wet. Well, that was a fail. Let me know if you guys have any ideas about this fuel tank, because right now I'm all out. I'll figure out something. Even installed a little crappy little filter to catch whatever was drilled up in there and whatnot. Don't want any of that stuff hitting my pumps, all that stuff I did. So this is just temporary for now. But sheesh, man, could have sworn that was gonna work. But whatever, I'm gonna need some more time to think about this. So we're gonna end this off here. Did a bunch of stuff in this video. Got stuff done, so it's alright. It's alright, honestly. Next video, you're going to see it start again. Jack it all up, go through all the gears, but finishing off the cooling system. You can see that's a little sneak peek to that. And yeah, hit the comment, rate, and subscribe. You can head on over to systematic.co to support this project. And yeah, never stop modifying.